No one noticed when the boy stopped breathing properly. No one, except the leather-clad man who had just parked his Harley under the flashing light of the abandoned gas station. And what he saw in the eyes of that frozen child wasn't ordinary fear. It was pure terror waiting to explode. But the real horror wasn't in what the biker saw. It was in what he couldn't yet hear. Because when that bathroom door finally opened, nothing, absolutely nothing, would be the same. And Edge Rider knew it. His stomach already knew this kind of silence. The kind that comes before the blood. The gas station was in the middle of nowhere. Highway 49, North Carolina, 3 in the morning. The kind of place where truckers stopped out of necessity, not choice. Fluorescent lights flickered above rusty pumps. The wind blew empty cans across the cracked asphalt. Edge Rider turned off the engine. The silence of the early morning swallowed the Harley's rumble. He got off slowly, feeling the weight of the last 700 miles on his back. Unshaven red eyes, leather jacket worn at the elbows. 52 years on the road, 23 of them trying to forget. He pushed open the glass door. The bell rang. No one appeared at the counter. Just dusty shelves, cold coffee in a thermos, and the constant hum of the refrigerators in the back. That's when he saw the boy. No more than 7 years old. Torn sneakers, dirty jeans, a t-shirt 3 sizes too big for his skeletal body. Disheveled brown hair stuck to his sweaty forehead. He stood still, completely motionless, staring fixedly at the door of the men's restroom in the back of the convenience store. Edge Rider grabbed a bottle of water. He walked past the boy. He sensed something was wrong. The kind of wrong that makes your skin crawl for no apparent reason. The boy didn't blink. He didn't move. He just stared. Edge returned. He crouched down beside him. "Hey, little one, are you lost?" Nothing. The boy's eyes remained fixed on the door. But now Edge could see, his jaw trembling, his small fingers clenched into fists so tight that his nails dug into his palms. "Is your father in there?" The boy swallowed hard. He didn't answer. But something changed in his face. Something Edge Rider knew all too well. Frozen panic, that's when he heard it. Muffled, coming from behind the bathroom door. A sound that shouldn't exist at 3 in the morning in an empty gas station. A cry. Feminine, stifled, desperate. And then, the dull thud of something or someone hitting the tile. Edge felt his blood run cold. He looked at the boy again. Now he understood. The boy wasn't scared. He was keeping watch, looking at door, waiting, because he already knew what was happening on the other side. And he knew that no one could get in, not until it was over. Edge Rider stood up slowly. His heart pounded. His hand instinctively went to his jacket pocket. Old habits, old wars. He took a step towards the bathroom. The boy finally moved. He grabbed Edge's hand with brutal force, unbecoming of such a small child. And he whispered, his voice breaking. He said he'll kill her if anyone comes in. If your heart is racing right now, subscribe. Because this story goes much deeper. And I need to know, where are you watching from? Comment below. You won't be able to stop. Edge Rider didn't let go of the boy's hand. He just squeezed it back. Slowly, firmly, a silent promise. He bent down again. He was at the boy's eye level. "What's your name?" The child hesitated. Her lips trembled. "Tyler." "Tyler," Edge repeated, remembering the name. "Who's in there with her?" The boy lowered his head. Tears began to stream down his face, silently, wetting the dirty floor. My stepfather." Edge closed his eyes for a second, just one. Enough time to push the anger back to where it always stayed. Locked away, controlled, but never dead. "And your mother?" Tyler nodded, sobbing softly. Another impact came from inside the bathroom. louder. This time, followed by a muffled scream. The kind of scream that comes when someone tries to scream, but a hand covers their mouth too tightly. Edge looked around. The store was still empty. No clerks, no cameras working, just him, the boy, and the hell that was raging 6 meters away. He turned his eyes to Tyler. Has he done this before? The boy couldn't speak, but the way his whole body trembled was answer enough. Edge felt something break inside him, something old, something he swore he'd never feel again. But there it was, burning, rising up his throat, demanding blood. He took a deep breath. He regained control. Tyler, look at me. The boy looked up, brown, frightened, but still alive, still fighting. You've been very brave so far, very, but now I need you to do something for me. Tyler nodded, desperate to believe anything. You're going to leave this store. You're going to go to my motorcycle, that black one out there, and you're going to stand next to it, no matter what. You hear? Don't look back. Don't go back. Understand? But he will. He's not going to do anything else. Edge spoke with a certainty that cut through the fear. Never again. Tyler held his breath. He looked at the biker. He saw something in his eyes. Something that normal adults don't have. Something dangerous. But somehow, safe. Promise? Edge Rider placed his hand on the boy's shoulder. He squeezed lightly. I promise. And in that second, Tyler believed. He turned around and ran. He pushed open the glass door. The bell rang. The cold morning wind swallowed his small silhouette. Edge was left alone. He turned towards the bathroom door. He took off his leather jacket. He let it fall to the floor. Underneath, the black t-shirt revealed arms covered in tattoos. Scars. Stories he never told. He walked slowly. Each step echoed in the silence of the empty shop. His breathing changed, slower, more controlled. He stopped in front of the door. He heard it again. A man's hoarse voice. Deep, cruel, saying things no human being should ever say. And then he heard what broke everything. A female voice, weak, almost inaudible. Please, Tyler, don't let him see. She was protecting her son, even though she was being destroyed, even though she had no strength left. Still trying to save the boy. Edge Rider placed his hand on the door handle. He closed his eyes. He took a deep breath. And he thought of another woman, another bathroom, another night he couldn't prevent. 23 years ago. But this time, it would be different. He pushed the door open. And hell has finally found company. Edge Rider was 9 years old when he found his mother in the bathroom at home. Philadelphia. Winter of 1982. 2-room apartment in a building that smelled of mold and cheap cigarettes. He was coming home from school. His backpack was torn. His stomach was hungry. He hoped that today would be different. But it never was. His stepfather, a truck driver named Roy, was in the room, drinking. As always, his face flushed, his eyes glazed, the belt hanging from the chair. Your mother is busy, boy. Go to your room. Edge wasn't there. He heard muffled sobs coming from the bathroom. He heard Roy's voice screaming. He heard the sound of something breaking, and it stood still, paralyzed, because he was too small, too weak, too scared. Roy came out of the bathroom 20 minutes later. He walked past Edge without looking. He grabbed the truck keys. He left, slamming the door. Edge went into the bathroom. He found his mother on the floor. Black eye, cracked lip, broken arm. She looked at him. She tried to smile. Everything's fine, my love. Mommy just fell. But Edge saw the truth. He saw it in her eyes, the fear, the shame, the defeat. And at that moment something died inside him. Innocence. The belief that adults always protect, the idea that someone would come to save them. Nobody came. Not that night, nor in the 50 nights that followed. Until the day Roy drank too much. He took to the road drunk. He crashed the truck into a bridge. He died instantly. Edge was 12 years old. He didn't cry at the funeral. His mother cried for 3. She never recovered. Her body, perhaps. But her soul remained in that bathroom, trapped, bleeding, dying slowly. She died 6 years later. Cancer. But Edge knew the truth. It wasn't cancer that killed her. It was Roy. It was him. It was the 9-year-old boy who stood still, who did nothing, who let it happen. Edge. Ryder carried that guilt for 23 years. He carried it on every road, on every sleepless night, in every empty bottle. He became a motorcyclist because he couldn't stay still. He couldn't have a home. He couldn't sleep without hearing the screams. He joined the Hell's Guardians Club 5 years ago, not because he wanted brotherhood, but because he needed a reason to stay alive. And he found it. Saving those he couldn't save before, protecting those who were left behind, being the man he begged to appear when he was 9 years old. Now, standing in front of that bathroom door, Edge Ryder was no longer in North Carolina. I was in Philadelphia, 1982. But this time, he was no longer the boy. It was the monster Roy should have encountered. And this time, no one was going to get away with it. The bathroom door opened slowly. The smell hit Edge first. Sour beer, rancid sweat, fear. He went in. The bathroom was small, dirty, cracked mirror, broken sink, flickering fluorescent light. And there she was, huddled against the wall on the floor, Tyler's mother, perhaps 30 years old, too thin, swollen face, blood running from her nose, blouse torn at the shoulder, eyes wide with terror, and standing on it, a man, tall, 1 meter and 90 centimeters, easily weighs 100 kilos. Beer belly, cheap tattoos on his arms, dirty cap, stained tank top. He held her wrist with one hand. In the other, an empty whiskey bottle. When he saw Edge, he dropped the woman. He turned around. His eyes were bloodshot, his mouth twisted into a cruel smile. "The bathroom is occupied, dude." Edge didn't answer. He just went inside. He closed the door behind him. The man frowned. "Are you deaf?" I said. "I heard." Edge spoke softly, calmly, dangerously. "But you're going to let her go. Now." The stepfather laughed, a hoarse laugh. "Drunk." "Oh yeah? And who the hell do you think you are?" "Nobody important." Edge stepped forward. "Just someone who won't leave until you're on the ground." The man's smile died. He dropped the bottle. He moved forward. "Your son of a—" Edge moved, fast, precise. She grabbed the man's wrist. She twisted it. The sound of the bone cracking echoed in the small bathroom. The stepfather screamed. He fell to his knees. Edge let go. He took a step back. "Get up." The man looked up. His eyes were now filled with pain and fear. You broke my fucking—" "Get up." There was something in Edge's voice that made his stepfather obey. He stood up, staggering, clutching his broken wrist, arrogance replaced by panic. "Listen, man, I didn't know she was yours. She's not mine." Edge interrupted. "But the boy outside, he asked for help, and I promised." The woman on the ground began to cry, not from fear, from relief. The stepfather stepped back. He hit the wall. I was just disciplining her, you know. She disrespected me and—" "Stop talking." Edge took another step. The man swallowed hard. "You're going to do the following." Edge spoke slowly, each word weighing heavily. "You're going to leave here, you're going to get in your car, and you're going to drive away. And if I find out you're back, if I hear you've been near that woman or that boy again—" He moved closer, until he was inches from his stepfather's face. "I'm going to find you. And next time it won't just be your wrist." The man trembled. He wanted to say something, but his voice died in his throat. Edge opened the door. Until the stepfather didn't need to hear it twice. He ran out. He tripped at the store entrance. He pushed open the glass door. He ran to an old Dodge in the parking lot. The engine roared, the tires screeched, and he disappeared into the darkness of the road. Edge went back to the bathroom. The woman was still on the ground, crying, trembling. He knelt beside her. "You are safe now." She looked at him. Brown eyes, just like Tyler's, broken but still alive. "Tyler, where?" "He's out there, waiting for you." She sobbed. She covered her face with her hands. Edge remained silent. He waited. After a while, she was able to speak. "Thanks. Don't thank me yet." Edge helped her to her feet. "Because he'll be back. Men like that always come back." She knew. He saw it in her eyes. She had run away before. She had tried to start over, but he always found her. Because men like the stepfather don't give up. They don't stop until someone makes them stop. And Edge Rider was just getting started. Edge helped the woman wash her face. Blood mixed with cold water went down the drain. She was trembling, not from cold, from shock. He took off his t-shirt. He handed it to her to cover his torn shirt. He was left only wearing a black tank top underneath. "What's your name?" "Sarah." Her voice was weak, broken. "Sarah, do you have somewhere to go? Family? Friends?" She shook her head. Fresh tears streamed down her face. He made me cut off contact with everyone. He said that nobody cared, that only he." Edge knew the story. I'd heard versions of it hundreds of times. Isolation, control, slow destruction of identity. "How long have you two been together?" 3 years. "And how long has he been hitting you?" Sarah lowered her head. "From the beginning." Edge felt the anger returning, but he controlled it. Tyler?" She closed her eyes. The pain in her face was physical. He never touched him. But Tyler sees everything, he hears everything. I try to protect him, I swear, but you've already protected her, Edge interrupted firmly. More than you should have had to do on your own. Sarah looked at him, confused. What are you going to do now? Edge sighed. He looked at the cracked mirror. He saw his own reflection, scars, tattoos, tiredness. And that was the question he always asked. How far would he go this time? He could leave, get on his motorcycle, continue his journey, leave Sarah and Tyler behind, call the police maybe. But he knew how it worked. Police report, protective order. Useless piece of paper that doesn't stop anything. The stepfather would return. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. But I would return. And when he returned, he would be even angrier, more violent. And Sarah and Tyler would be alone again. Edge knew the cycle. I'd seen it happen dozens of times. He had two options. First, do the right thing, legal, safe, let the system handle it. The second, do what is necessary. And Edge Rider was never good at picking the right one. Do you have a phone? He asked. Sarah nodded yes. She showed the old cell phone in her pocket. Call the police, file a report, ask for a restraining order. She looked at him confused. But you said that he will come back, yes. But you will have a record, paperwork, proof, and that will help. Help with what? Edge did not respond directly. Where does he live? Sarah hesitated. In his trailer home, about 15 kilometers from here, on the old road. Address. Edge, what are you? Address, Sarah. She spoke. He recorded. You're going to stay here. You're going to call the police. You're going to take Tyler to some temporary shelter, some church, somewhere far away from him, understand? Sarah nodded, scared, but confident. And you? Edge picked up the leather jacket from the floor. He put it back on. I'll make sure he never comes back. As he looked at her, his eyes were cold, but honest. You don't want to know. Sarah held his arm. Please, don't do anything. You'll regret. Edge almost laughed. Almost. Because regret was something he had carried for 23 years. A little more wouldn't make a difference. Take care of Tyler. He needs you. He left the bathroom. He walked across the store. He pushed open the glass door. Tyler was standing next to Harley, exactly where Edge had told him to. His eyes were red from crying. When he saw Edge, he ran. He hugged the biker's leg tightly. My mom? She's fine. She's leaving now. Tyler sobbed. Relieved. Sarah appeared at the door. She saw her son. She ran. Mother and son embraced in the empty parking lot, crying, trembling, but together. Edge got on the motorcycle. He started the engine. The snoring echoed in the early morning. Sarah looked at him. Thanks. Edge nodded. He didn't smile. Just one more thing, he said. When the police ask who helped you, you didn't see me. Understand? Sarah understood. Edge accelerated. The Harley disappeared into the darkness. And as he drove, down the empty road, a single question kept hammering in his head. How far was he willing to go this time? Because deep down, Edge Rider knew the answer. Until the end. The trailer home was exactly where Sarah said it would be. Dirt road, 15 kilometers into nowhere, surrounded by dead trees and scattered trash. Edge turned off the motorcycle 200 meters away. He continued on foot. The night was cold, silent. Only the wind rustling through dry branches. He came closer. He saw the Dodge parked crookedly out front. Lights were on inside the trailer. Edge stopped. He observed. He heard loud music, old rock. Someone breaking something inside. The stepfather was furious. Good. Edge walked to the door. He didn't knock. He simply pushed it. The door opened. Rusty hinges groaned. The stepfather was in the living room, or what was left of it, bottle in hand. Broken television on the floor, overturned chair. When he saw Edge, he froze. Edge went inside. He closed the door. I told you to leave. The stepfather threw the bottle away. He pointed with his good finger. This is private property. You have no right to it. Right? Edge took a step. Do you think you have the right to lay a hand on that woman? She is my wife. She doesn't belong to you. She's a person, and you forfeited all rights when you touched her. The stepfather laughed, humorlessly, desperately. You don't know anything. You don't know what she's like, how she provokes me, how she... Edge crossed the distance in 2 steps. He grabbed his stepfather by the neck. He pressed him against the wall. The man's feet left the ground. Stop talking. The stepfather tried to breathe, his eyes wide, his hands scratching Edge's arm. You have 2 choices. Edge spoke softly, deadly. First, you take this crappy trailer and disappear. Move to another city, another state, and never look back. He squeezed harder. Second, I squeeze until you stop breathing, and nobody will ever know where you ended up. He let go. The stepfather fell. Coughing, choking, clutching his neck. Which one will it be? The man looked up, hatred in his eyes, but also fear. You can't do that. I can, and I will. The stepfather spat out blood. Okay, I'll leave, I swear. Edge didn't believe it, but he needed more. Take your phone out of your pocket. Call Sarah. What? He does. The stepfather picked up the cell phone with a trembling hand. He dialed. 3 rings. Sarah answered. Put it on speakerphone, Edge ordered. He put it there. Oi? Sarah's voice was cautious. Edge looked at his stepfather. He speaks. The man swallowed hard. Sarah, I just wanted to say that I'm sorry, and that I won't bother you anymore, or Tyler, I swear. Silence on the other end, then her voice. low, trembling. In truth? The stepfather looked at Edge, seeking guidance. Edge nodded. In truth. The call dropped. Edge picked up the phone. He threw it on the floor. He stomped on it. Glass and plastic shattered. Now disappear. The stepfather stood up. He staggered to the door. But before leaving, he stopped. He turned around, and Edge saw something he didn't expect. The smile. Crooked. Malicious. "You think she's special, don't you?" he said. "You think you saved the damsel in distress?" Edge did not respond. "But I know her, man. I've known her for 3 years, and I'm going to tell you a secret." He approached. He whispered, "She always comes back." Edge felt his blood run cold. They always come back. Always. Because deep down they like it. They like the drama, the attention. Having someone who cares so much that they lose control. He laughed. "Give it 2 weeks. She'll call me, crying, saying she misses me, that she wants to try again." Edge clenched his fists. "And when she calls," the stepfather continued, "I'll be back. And I'll remind her who's in charge. I'll remind her very well." He patted Edge on the shoulder. "And you? You'll be far away, on your motorcycle, fleeing to the next lost cause." Edge exploded. She grabbed her stepfather. She dragged him outside. She threw him to the ground. The man screamed. He tried to crawl. Edge pulled him back, punched him, once, twice, 3 times. Blood splattered on the floor. "Edge, para!" The voice came from behind. He froze. He turned around. 3 men, leather jackets, Harleys parked on the side of the road. "Hell's Guardians, your club." The leader, a man named Razor, stepped forward. "Stop, brother, before you do something we can't fix." Edge looked at his own hands, covered in blood. She looked at her stepfather, unconscious, but breathing. He retreated. Razor approached. He placed his hand on Edge's shoulder. "We followed you. We saw you leave the gas station. We knew you were going to screw up." "He deserved it," Edge said through gritted teeth. "I know, but you almost killed him. So what? Do you think the police would ignore it? Do you think Sarah and Tyler would be okay with you in jail?" Edge took a deep breath. Reality was setting in. Razor was right. He had gone too far. Almost. "Take him away," Razor told the other 2. "Leave him at some hospital. Anonymous." They obeyed. They grabbed the stepfather. They threw him onto the back of a motorcycle. Razor looked at Edge. "You need to control this, brother. This anger will kill you." "It's not anger," Edge replied. "It's justice." "No. This is revenge, and revenge has a price." Edge did not respond, because deep down he knew. Every punch he threw, every threat, it wasn't about Tyler or Sarah. It was for the 9-year-old boy who never had anyone. And as Edge mounted his motorcycle again, following his brothers down the dark road, a certainty settled in. He had saved Sarah and Tyler, but he lost a little more of himself in the process. And eventually, there would be nothing left. The sun was rising when they arrived at the clubhouse. A renovated, abandoned house on the outskirts of Asheville, painted black. Flags hung. Harleys lined up, Hell's Guardians, 12 members in total, all men with pasts they preferred not to talk about, all united by one thing, protecting those abandoned by the system. Edge got off the motorcycle. His body ached. His hands were still trembling. Razor lit a cigarette. He offered one. Edge accepted. They smoked in silence. After a while, Razor spoke. "You crossed a line today." Edge took a long drag. "I know. That guy, he can go to the police. Say that you broke into his house, that you tried to kill him. He's not going. How do you know? Because men like that don't ask for help. They just come back stronger." Razor sighed. He threw the cigarette on the ground. He stomped on it. "So, what do you want to do?" Edge looked at him. I want to make sure he never comes near her again. And how do you plan to do that without ending up in jail? Or dead? Edge had no answer. The clubhouse door opened. Other members began to leave. Stone, Chains, Hawk, Bear, all serious faces. Stone approached, a man in his 40s, scar on his face, ex-military. We heard what happened. Edge waited. And we voted. What did you vote for? Edge asked. Stone looked at Razor, then back at Edge. You won't be able to handle this alone. The club will help. Edge frowned. That's none of your business. Yes, it is, Chain said. A huge man, tattooed from head to toe. Because you're our brother, and we don't let a brother fall. Hawk agreed. A thin man, cold eyes. Besides, we have resources, contacts, ways to make things disappear. Edge looked around. All the faces were serious, determined, loyalty, something he never had as a child. But I had it now. What are you suggesting? Edge asked. Razor put out his second cigarette. We're watching him, 24 hours a day. If he gets near Sarah or Tyler, we'll intervene, without you getting involved, without leaving a trace. What if he doesn't come close? Even better, Stone said. But men like that always come back. You said so. Edge knew he had it. And when he comes back, Edge pressed. What are you going to do? A heavy silence fell. Bear, a 50-year-old man and veteran of the club, finally spoke. We're going to do what we've always done. Protect the weak, punish the predators, and make sure they understand the message. What message? Bear stepped forward. He looked Edge in the eyes. That there are consequences. That there are people who won't let it go. That evil has its limits. Edge felt something move in his chest. Hope? No, something more dangerous. Purpose. When do we start? He asked. Razor smiled, humorlessly. We've already started. He made a sign. Hawk went into the clubhouse. He came back with a laptop. He opened it. He showed the screen. Camera footage. Live. The stepfather's trailer. 3 different angles. We installed it while you were hitting him, Hawk explained. We know when he goes in, when he goes out, who visits. Everything. Edge looked at the images. His stepfather was lying on the sofa, ice on his face, drinking. He's going to be pissed, Edge commented. Leave it, Stone said. Angry men make mistakes. Edge knew this. He had used his own anger his whole life. And now, he was using it against the enemy. And Sarah? Edge asked. Is she safe? Razor nodded. Chains is guarding the shelter where she is. Nobody gets close without us knowing. Edge took a deep breath. For the first time in hours, he felt a little relief. But relief was dangerous, because it meant letting our guard down, and the game was only just beginning. There's one more thing, Razor said, hesitantly. What? We checked the guy's record. He has a history of offenses, assault, threats, even a child abuse charge that was dismissed. Edge felt his blood boil again. Why was it archived? Lack of evidence. The victim recanted. Of course. Threats, fear, manipulation, the complete cycle. He's done it before, Edge murmured. And he'll do it again. That's why we can't make mistakes, Razor said. Seriously, if we act wrongly, he gets away with it, and it makes everything worse. Edge understood. They needed patience, strategy, precision, but patience was never Edge Rider's strong suit. And as he stared at the screen, watching his stepfather laugh alone in the dirty trailer, a promise formed. He was going to fall. One way or another, legal or not, Edge would guarantee it. Because some people don't deserve second chances, and he was tired of giving. 3 days have passed. The stepfather didn't move. He stayed in the trailer, drinking, watching TV, receiving fast food deliveries. Edge watched everything, obsessed. He slept little. He ate less. He just stayed in front of the screen. Razor tried to talk to him. He said Edge needed to rest, that he was burning out. Edge ignored it. On the fourth day, something changed. The stepfather got out of the trailer. He got into the Dodge. He drove to town. He stopped at a bar. He stayed there for 2 hours. When he left, he wasn't alone. There was a man with him, thin, tattoos on his neck. He looked like he'd been to jail. They talked in the parking lot. The stepfather handed over money. The other handed over something small, wrapped up. Drugs. Edge saw everything through Hawk's cell phone camera, who was discreetly following him. "He's using it again," Hawk reported over the radio. Edge clenched his fist. Users are unpredictable, violent, dangerous. And if he was using it, it meant he was losing control, which made him even more dangerous for Sarah. "He's going back to the trailer," Hawk updated. Edge stood up. "I'll go there." "Edge, no." Razor blocked him. "We agreed to wait, to not act until he does something. He's doing something, he's doing drugs, and when he gets high, do you know where he'll go?" Razor knew. Behind her. Edge pushed Razor. He left the clubhouse. He got on the motorcycle. "Edge!" Razor shouted, but the engine was already roaring, and Edge was already on the road. He arrived at the trailer 20 minutes later. The Dodge was there, door open, music loud. Edge got off the motorcycle. He walked to the door. It didn't hit. It went in. The stepfather was in the kitchen, white powder on the table, straw in his nose. When he saw Edge, he froze. Then he laughed, high, hysterical. "I knew it. I knew you were coming back." Edge didn't answer. He just walked away. The stepfather grabbed a knife from the sink. "Stay. There, you son of a bitch. I swear I'll cut you." Edge stopped. He looked at the knife, then at the man. Through despair, through fear, through madness. "You're high," Edge said calmly. "So what? It's my life, my home." "And Sarah? Is she yours too?" The stepfather tightened his grip on the knife. "She called me yesterday." Edge felt his stomach sink. Lie. No means no. She called, crying, saying she misses me, that she wants to come back. "You're lying." "No, I'm not. Look." He picked up his new cell phone. He showed the record. A call from Sarah, yesterday, midnight, duration 12 minutes. Edge felt the world spin. It couldn't be. After everything, after what he did for her. "I told you she'd be back." The stepfather smiled, triumphantly. "They always come back." Edge took a step back. "But I don't want her back." The stepfather continued. "Not yet. First, I want her to suffer. I want her to beg." He pointed the knife at Edge. "And you're going to get out of my life. Or I swear, that the next time I see her, I'm going to make her pay for every second you made me suffer." Something broke inside Edge. It wasn't anger. It was acceptance. Accepting that words don't work. Threats don't work. Fear doesn't work. Men like that only understand one thing. Pain. Permanent. Edge advanced. The stepfather brandished the knife. Edge dodged. He grabbed the wrist. He twisted. The knife fell. He punched the man in the stomach, then in the face. The stepfather fell. Edge didn't stop. He kicked. He punched. He repeated. Blood. Screams. Please. And Edge couldn't hear anything. I only saw the 9-year-old boy. I could only see my mother on the floor. I only saw all the times he did nothing. And now, finally, I was doing it. But hands pulled him back. Razor, stone, chains. "Stop! You're going to kill him!" Edge fought. But there were 3 of them. They managed to drag him out. The stepfather lay on the floor, bleeding, breathing, but alive. Just. Edge fell too. His knees on the ground, breathing heavily, hands trembling. Razor knelt beside him. "Edge, you need to stop, before there's no turning back." Edge looked at his own hands, covered in blood. Again, and he realized he had already crossed. There was no turning back. The police arrived 2 hours later. Someone had heard the screams, called out. When they entered the trailer, they found the stepfather, injured but conscious. And he spoke. He described Edge, the motorcycle, the jacket. Everything. A warrant was issued. Aggression, invasion, attempted murder. Edge was running away. Not for the first time in my life. He drove all night, aimlessly, just far away. The club tried to call. He didn't answer. Sarah tried to call. He hung up, because deep down he knew it had failed again. He didn't save anyone. It only created more chaos, more pain, more problems. And now Sarah and Tyler were alone again, with an even angrier stepfather. And Edge couldn't come back, because if he went back, he'd be arrested. Or worse, he was killing someone. He stopped at a cheap motel. He paid in cash. He locked the door. He sat on the bed. He looked at his hands. They were still trembling. He picked up his cell phone. He had 47 messages. He opened one of Razor's. "Brother, we understand, but you need to come back. We need a plan. Together." Deleted. She opened another one by Sarah. "Edge, please. I need to talk to you. It's not what you think. Call me. Please." He didn't call, because it didn't matter anymore. He had destroyed everything, like always. 3 days later, Edge was in a bar. Different city, different face, grown beard, drinking, trying to forget. The TV was on, local news, and then he saw Sarah's photo, her face filling the screen, and the caption, "Woman and son disappear after domestic violence report." Edge froze. The volume went up. The reporter was saying, "Sarah Mitchell, 29, and her son Tyler, 7, have been missing for 48 hours. Police suspect her. Ex-partner, recently released from the hospital, may be involved. Any information, please call." Edge didn't hear the rest. He threw money on the counter. He ran out. He got on the motorcycle. He called Razor. He answered on the first ring. "Edge, where the hell are you?" He got her. He got them both. Silence. "How do you know?" "I saw it on TV. Sarah and Tyler disappeared, and there's only one person who would do that." Razor took a deep breath. "The police are looking for them, but they won't find her in time," Edge finished. "I know men like that. He won't kill her quickly. He'll make her suffer. And the boy, God." He couldn't finish. Razor spoke firmly. "Where are you?" 2 hours from Asheville. "Come back now. The whole club is mobilized. We're going to find them." "As? We have ways." Edge hesitated. "If I go back, the police." "Fuck the police," Razor interrupted. "There's a child in danger. One of us could fall. But we don't let children die. Ever." Edge felt tears welling up, but he held on. "I'm going." He hung up. It accelerated, and as the road blurred around them, a single question hammered away. Would he arrive on time this time, or was he going to find 2 more bodies? 2 more people he swore to protect. But it failed. Again. Edge arrived at the clubhouse 2 hours later, breaking all speed limits. The door was open. All the members were gathered. Maps were spread out. Computers were on. Razor saw Edge enter. He waved. "Come here." Edge approached. He saw the screen. Cell phone tracking. Geolocation. "We managed to track the stepfather's cell phone," Hawk explained. "He's in a cabin, isolated. About 80 kilometers from here, in the mountains." "Are they there?" "We don't know, but it's the only place that makes sense. Far away, isolated, no one to hear screams." Edge felt his stomach churn. "How long until we get there?" "An hour, maybe less." "Then let's go." "It's not that simple," Stone interrupted. "The police are investigating too. If we get there and screw things up, it'll make everything worse." And if we do nothing, Sarah and Tyler die, Edge retorted. Silence. Bear spoke heavily. We'll go, but carefully. We'll check first. We'll confirm they're there, then we'll act. Edge wanted to scream. He wanted to run. He wanted to get there and destroy everything. But I knew Bear was right. Acting wrongly meant failing again, and he couldn't fail, not this time. Okay, Edge agreed, but I'm going ahead. Razor shook his head. We're all going together. 10 motorcycles, 10 men, all armed, all determined. They followed the road, then dirt tracks, then paths that barely existed, until they got close to the cabin. They turned off the engines a kilometer away. They continued on foot, silent. The cabin was in the middle of a clearing, old, cracked roof, broken windows. But Dodge was there, and there was a light on inside. Edge felt his heart race. Someone's there, he whispered. Razor made signs. He divided the group. They surrounded the cabin on all sides. Edge, Razor, and Stone approached the door. They stopped. They listened. Voices, a man shouting, a woman crying, and a child sobbing. Edge didn't wait. He kicked the door. She exploded inside. The scene hit him like a punch. Sarah was tied to a chair. Her face was swollen. Blood was running from her lip. Tyler was huddled in the corner, hugging his knees, his eyes wide with terror, and the stepfather was in the middle of it all. Bottle in one hand, belt in the other. When he saw Edge, he smiled. I knew you were coming. Edge didn't respond. He just moved forward. The stepfather shook the belt. One more step and I'll hit the boy. Edge stopped. Razor and Stone entered from behind, weapons drawn. Let her go, Razor ordered. The stepfather laughed. Or what? You shoot? In front of the child? He was right. They couldn't shoot. Not there. Edge looked at Sarah. She looked back. Tears were streaming down her face. Then he looked at Tyler. The boy was paralyzed, just like that night at the gas station, but now Edge saw something different in his eyes. Hope. Because the biker had returned, as promised. You have 5 seconds to let her go, Edge said, calmly, coldly. Or what? Or I'll make you beg for death. The stepfather spat. You don't have the courage. Edge smiled. No humor either. Want to bet? And before anyone could react, Edge moved. Fast. Brutal. He grabbed the strap. He pulled. His stepfather tripped. Edge punched. Once. Twice. The man fell. Edge turned around. He cut Sarah's ropes. She fell into his arms, sobbing. Tyler, she cried. Edge went over to the boy. He knelt down. You're safe now, I promise. Tyler threw himself into his arms. He cried, finally. And as Edge held that little boy, feeling his trembling body, something inside him broke. But in a different way. Not from pain, of healing. Because this time he had arrived on time. This time he saved someone. In truth, the police arrived 30 minutes later. Sirens blared through the night. The stepfather was on the floor, tied up, conscious, but defeated. Sarah and Tyler were in each other's arms, wrapped in a blanket that Chains had brought from the motorcycle. The police officers got out of the car, weapons drawn. They saw the scene. The sergeant, a man in his 50s, looked at Razor. Who called? We did. Razor replied calmly. We tracked the guy down. We found the victims. We neutralized the threat. The sergeant looked around. He saw the bikers. He saw the weapons. Then he looked at Sarah and Tyler. Does anyone need medical attention? Sarah shook her head. We just want to leave. The sergeant waved. He called the paramedics. Then he looked at Edge. You. I know you. There's a warrant out for you. Edge did not deny it. Try. Invasion. Aggression. Attempted murder. All true. The sergeant sighed. He looked at his stepfather on the floor, then back to Edge. But apparently you also saved 2 lives today." Edge did not respond. The sergeant approached. He lowered his voice. "Listen, I have children. I know how these things work. I know that sometimes the system fails, and I know that men like you do what needs to be done." He paused. "But you can't keep going like this. Do you understand? At some point you're going to cross the line too far, and I won't be able to protect you." Edge understood. "I'll go with you," he said. The sergeant shook his head. "Not today. Today, you stay here. Help us with the testimonies, and then disappear for a while. Let things cool down." Edge wasn't expecting that. "Why?" The sergeant looked at Tyler. The boy was hugging his mother but looking at Edge with gratitude. "Because that boy needs to believe in heroes, and today you were one." He walked away. Edge stopped, processing. Sarah approached. She took his hand. "Thank you," she whispered. Edge looked at her. "You called him. I saw the record." Sarah lowered her head. I was scared. Alone. And I thought that maybe, if I went back, you were going to die." Edge finished. She nodded. Tears were streaming down her face. "I'm so sorry. I should have trusted. I should have been strong." Edge shook her hand. "You are strong. Survival is not weakness. It's courage." Sarah looked into his eyes. "You saved me. You saved my son. How can I thank you?" Edge smiled. Small, sad. "Live. Be happy. And never go back to someone who hurts you. I promise." Tyler approached. He looked at Edge. "Are you leaving?" Edge knelt down. "Necessary. But what if he comes back?" Edge placed his hand on the boy's shoulder. "He's not going. This time he's going to jail, and he's going to stay there for a long time." Tyler nodded, but his eyes were still frightened. "You're a hero." Edge shook his head. "I'm not. I only did what was right. For me, you are." And at that moment, Edge felt something he hadn't felt in 23 years. Peace. Not complete. Not eternal. But it's real. Because he had saved someone. The cycle had been broken. It was the man he had begged to appear when he was a child. And perhaps, just perhaps, that would be enough. 3 months later, Edge was on a different road, a different city, a different life. The warrant had been withdrawn. The stepfather confessed everything. Attempted kidnapping, assault, false imprisonment, 20 years in prison. Sarah and Tyler were in a temporary shelter. Later, they went to live with Sarah's sister in another city, a new beginning. Edge received a letter, handwritten. It was Tyler's. He said, "Dear Edge, Mom said I can write to you. I wanted to thank you for everything, for not giving up on us, for being brave, for teaching me that there are good people in the world. I will always remember you. I will be strong, like you. Thank you for saving me. Tyler." Edge tucked the letter into his jacket pocket, close to his heart. He didn't answer, because I didn't know what to say. How can you explain that he wasn't the one who saved Tyler? Was it Tyler who saved him? Edge stopped his motorcycle on an old bridge. He looked down at the river below. The sun was setting, orange, red, gold. He thought of his mother, of his stepfather, of the 9-year-old boy he once was. And he realized something. He would never forget. I will never fully heal. But he could live. He could help. He could make a difference, even if it's small, even if imperfect. And perhaps that would be enough. He started the motorcycle. The rumble echoed across the empty bridge, and he continued, on to the next road, on to the next fight, for the next child who needed someone. Because Edge Rider knew one thing. The world was full of predators, but it was also full of protectors, and he had chosen his side. Forever. If this story touched you, leave a like, Subscribe to the channel, because there are many more stories of justice, pain, and redemption coming. And you won't want to miss them. The next one is already waiting for you on the screen. Click now. She pleaded for help in the parking lot. He pretended not to hear, but the biker on the motorcycle next to her, he wasn't going to let it go. Click now. You won't be able to stop watching.